The next Puka Nacua. I get this question probably, 20 times a week, and the answer is pretty simple. The next Puka Nacua is, Smitty, wait a minute. Smitty, there is no next Puka Nacua. What are you, a not fun Ned? A boring Bobby? Like, of course we can have this conversation. Stop, chill out with your whole, no one's gonna be the next Puka Nacua, Smitty. The next Puka Nacua is this man right here, Keon Coleman. Deal with it. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, maybe there's no next Puka Nacua, okay? Nobody that breaks the records Puka did and does it exactly the way he did, but this is the closest thing we will find to the next Puka Nacua or the next Tank Dell. Why do I say that? Number one, this kid looks the part. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this was my second or third ranked redraft rookie wide receiver heading into the 2024 NFL draft, but we adjust and adapt. This kid landed in maybe the most ideal spot. Arizona and Buffalo, you could argue which one is more beneficial, but they are, no questions asked, the two best landing spots for any wide receiver entering the 2024 NFL draft. MHJ went over to Arizona, and he is going to be an absolute marvel under Kyler Murray's command. MHJ might be the number one wide receiver in one calendar year in all of fantasy, redraft, dynasty, everything. And Malik Neighbors probably is the number two. I mean, we're not idiots. We see what's going on, but I'm also not going to sit here and tell you to draft Malik Neighbors as the second ranked rookie wide receiver for redraft 2024. Dynasty, sure. Redraft is a whole different animal. Best ball, whole different animal. Who's the number two wide receiver at the end of the year behind MHJ in 2024 rookie wide receiver scoring? This man, Keon Coleman. Not only does this man have the best quarterback in the NFL, or at least top two, top three, throwing to him, but he has the number one fantasy football quarterback throwing to him. Wait, what, Smitty? He's the number one fantasy football. Don't even argue with me. Josh Allen was QB1, QB2, QB1, QB1, QB6 in back-to-back seasons. Get out of here if you're even attempting to argue Josh Allen is the best quarterback in fantasy football, especially for an incoming rookie wide receiver. Keon Coleman's walking into the NFL's second most vacated target receiving room in the National Football League 2024. 58% of the targets have been vacated in Buffalo with the departure of Diggs, and you have a situation in Gabe Davis. You have a situation where Kincaid's going to pick up a lot of those, right? Okay, Curtis Samuel's coming in, picking up a lot of those. Shakir, we expect him to pick up a lot of those. The amount of targets that this guy is going to consume, let's say he pulls in 80 receptions, and you might say, Smitty, this is a tall order. This is ridiculously high. 80 receptions, 11, 20, and 10 touchdowns. I think this is a floor. I think this is conservative for Keon Coleman. I think he's going to be remarkable, and I'll tell you more why. But I think 80 receptions and the amount of targets that will lead to 80 receptions still don't come close to consuming the vacated target share. Therefore, Kincaid picking up a bunch of targets. Shakir, Curtis Samuel, all those guys picking up target share doesn't mean that this guy can't consume what I'm projecting right here. This man is wanted by Josh Allen. Josh Allen sent him a text before he was drafted that said, "You're the guy that I want. I watched a lot of receivers and I want to play with you." That is a text message that Keon Coleman received from Josh Allen the Friday before the NFL draft. Oh, but Smitty, this guy's too slow. He's not going to get open at the NFL level, Smitty. He's just too slow. For those of you not on the ball, that have been behind in the combine game, in the rookie wide receiver scouting analysis game, probably are unaware that there are different metrics used now than ever before, metrics not available in previous years, metrics that tell us that this guy's going to be a nightmare for your opponents. Skills he's acquired over a long career. Let's read this part together down below. 20.36 miles per hour. Keon Coleman reached a top speed of 20.36 miles per hour during the gauntlet drill, the fastest speed by any receiver over the last two seasons at the Combine. Not just 2024, not just the 2024 class, all these wide receivers at the Combine that worked out. Am I saying he's the fastest wide receiver in the league? No, I'm not. saying he's faster than Worthy in a foot race? Of course I'm not. I'm not a moron. But when you try and tell me that this guy's not quick, that this guy's too slow, that this guy's not fast, he's not an NFL wide receiver, he won't be quick enough to be an NFL wide receiver, I have to question your judgment. I'm forced to bring up things like this to try and convince you that 40-yard dashes don't mean everything. CeeDee Lamb? What did CeeDee Lamb run his 40 time in?
Get lambed.
CeeDee Lamb, let me remind you, ran a 4.5 40-yard dash. Are any of us worried about him getting open in the NFL? And don't give me that. Do not give me that.
Are we comparing Coleman to CeeDee Lamb?
BS. Don't even start with that, because you don't even know what Coleman could be. We can't play that game every time we start talking about, well, if you're going to tear down somebody for a metric, don't act like there are exceptions that you can't consider. No one's saying he's the next CeeDee Lamb, but no one should be saying that he's not. Keon Coleman's 40 time is irrelevant to me when you have guys like Jerry Rice, CeeDee Lamb, Anquan Bolden. I mean, the list goes on and on. Some of the slowest 40 times from fast guys would shock you. And we're out here trying to judge a man on a 40 time when you're now handed a new metric, a new piece of data that says, hey, over the last 2 years, no one has been faster during gauntlet drills running 20.36 miles per hour. Gauntlet drills, in game speed terms, this guy's quick enough. He's as quick as pretty much really anybody. 20.36 miles per hour is a fast kid. And for some reason, you guys make me do this. The doubting Donnies out there, the haters of Coleman, make me come out here and remind you what this man's doing on the practice field right now. Look at that. Look at that touchdown grab. Footwork, knowing where his body is, knowing where his feet are, just awareness. And then he's out there doing absolute amazing footwork drills and look at the speed. Look at the speed. And look how he catches the ball. He doesn't body catch it. He's not like Quentin Johnston. Look at how he grabs the ball at the most optimal place. 2 hands on the football. Does this look like a slow wide receiver to you? I don't think so. I don't think so. This guy's out there doing work, and he walks into the most ideal situation. You know how I tell you that there are multiple red flags you run away from a player? Guy's 30 years old. He's also got an injury history. His offensive line's in the bottom 5. His schedule's awful against the Pat, whatever the case may be. And you go, that's a lot of red flags, Smitty. Look at DeAndre Swift, injury history, going to a crowded room. Bears continue to fail developing. And then you have a bunch more wide receivers get added to the roster. And then you have a guy that's being called in Swift a weapon running back. And they acquired him before they acquired Keenan Allen, before they drafted Rome Odunze. The red flags are all over the place. So this would be a time to say, I'm running for the hills. I want nothing to do with this player. There are too many red flags going on with Swift or with an older player that's 30, et cetera, et cetera. The same thing is said for a positive type of environment. When you have a offensive line that is quietly ranking in a lot of people's top 10, some people are down on the offensive line, but a quietly top 10 offensive line. Second most vacated targets in the NFL, 58% of the entire target volume has been vacated. Josh Allen wanting him over almost every other wide receiver. The fastest wide receiver on the field during drills, during what would be equated to gameplay. And a very, 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 very obvious desire, drive, and determination and quality of character that's on display every single day. And one of the most remarkable wide receiver training camps we've seen so far. He's out there making plays. He's out there running with the ones. He's catching all of these touchdown passes from Josh Allen, making spectacular plays. What more do you need? At what point do you say to yourself, okay, I talk about a lot of red flags. What about all the green flags? Are there not enough flags here with the vacated targets, with all of the information I'm giving you to say, yeah, this is probably going to work out? He's probably going to be pretty damn good. Even if he's not the next Tank Dell, even if he's not the next Puka Nacua, maybe he's an elite wide receiver 3 in 2024. I'm telling you right now, you want the next Tank Dell? I brought you Tank Dell. You want the next breakout wide receiver? This is my wheelhouse. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to plant my flag here and say that this is the next Tank Dell, the next Puka Nacua for the 2024 season, as close as we can get to those guys. He's not as obscure, but sometimes you have to dig into the 6, 7, 8 round territory to find a guy that replicates what you're trying to accomplish. And even though he's not as deep as those guys in a draft, he's still win a league capable from his freaking 6th, 7th round ADP, depending on what league you're drafting in. 80 receptions, 12, 20, 10 touchdowns, book it. Keon Coleman's going to the moon. And
to the moon.
He is a Smitty approved player anywhere near your 3rd drafted player territory.
You've just been Smitty approved.
The moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
Look at him. Keon Coleman, he's been there. This is his old photo. That's how long he's been on there.
Space Moses.
We got to get that photo replaced with the new one. Appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for watching my next Puka Nacua. Hey, Smitty, you can't call him Puka. There is no Puka Nacua, Smitty. You're absolutely crazy, Smitty. I can't believe you'd say something like that, Smitty. I don't know what you... Don't forget, I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Additionally, live whenever news breaks, and we go live most midnights to draft on Underdog, Code Smitty. And you want to draft with us, join us at midnight. And don't forget to check out thefantasyfootballshow.com. And if you want a live chat environment, 365, 24/7, don't forget to check out patreon.com/thefantasyfootballshow. Link in description. Get out of here.